Hi, I'm Kelly.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, I'm Lorena.
Jill.
Lisa. Dorval.
And my name is Taylor, and this is my persuasive speech. As you all may know, I got into a car accident a few months ago. I was at a stoplight, and the gentleman behind me was texting on his cell phone and didn't notice that we had all stopped. He ended up totaling my car and caused a 5-car pileup. He caused serious injuries to others involved, including himself, and cost a lot of money. So that's why I think it's very important to explain the way that using cellular devices and other technology are dangerous when operating any motor vehicle. Technology such as cell phones has become so increasingly prevalent and important communication device in our society. Mobile devices have allowed us to communicate with each other via text messages, internet, phone calls. However, these devices can cause one to become distracted during times when we should be focused the most. Distracted driving is any activity that could divert a person's attention away from the primary task of driving. Cell phone use when driving endangers not only the passengers, the driver, but also other bystanders. I believe that all states should ban the use of cell phones when driving, or at minimum require hands-free cellular devices. Cellular use while driving can be very dangerous and cause serious injury or death to, again, passengers, drivers, bystanders. According to AAA, car accidents are ranked one of the leading causes of death in the U.S. According to an experiment researched by doctors Frank Drews, David Strayer, and Dennis Crouch of the University of Utah, it's been proven that drivers who talk on a cell phone or use their mobile device are just as impaired as drunk drivers. The conversation when driving is the distraction that causes the danger and causes your brain to become focused on whatever conversation you're having over the internet, phone calls, text messages, and causes your brain to stop being focused and focus on something else. The website Focus Driven states the area of the brain responsible for processing moving visual information, which is clearly very important when driving, has 37% less capacity to gather and process critical driving data and instead focus on the conversation over the phone. Examples of dangerous driving can be swerving into another lane, failure to stop at a stop sign, a light, hitting other cars or people like the gentleman hit me. Statistics also show that in 2011, 385 people died in crashes and an estimated 21,000 were injured in cell phone-related accidents, according to the U.S. Department of Transportation. Now, I can understand where some people might think that the use of cell phones is very important when driving. Technology, like I said, continues to become increasingly important, sometimes addictive to some people, where they can't put their phones down, and that causes them to feel the urge to use their cell phones when driving, and that can cause accidents or death. Phones can definitely become very helpful when driving. They can help, in an emergency situation if you need to call somebody, not necessarily texting, but it can also help navigate. There's a lot of GPS on phones nowadays. Although the opposing side has some plausible points, it is still very important to reduce the use of cellular activity or ban completely cellular use. The solution, I think, would be, like I said, to ban the use or limit the use, which would be using hands-free, because driving requires a lot of concentration, accuracy, judgment, and it's kind of impossible to accomplish that when using a phone, even if it's just to answer a phone call. I think it's important to educate society, especially young adults, teens, everyone. According to National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, drivers between the age 15 to 19 who were involved in fatal crashes in 2011, and 21% of the drivers were distracted by cell phones. Personally, I take cell phones from my friends and family when they are using them. I've had friends Facebook, and I will take their phone and hide it until we get somewhere, or if they're trying to make a phone call or a text message, I will offer to do it for them. So that's another great way to not use cell phones for the driver. The passengers can help them. And then I think that limiting the use using the hands-free talk can be helpful, but not necessarily, because like I said, no matter how you're using a cell phone when you're driving, you're distracted and you're not paying attention to the road or what's going on. You're paying attention to a conversation or the internet. So hands-free is a good idea, but at the same time I think that it would just be better to ban cell phone use completely. And I think that failure to do so should, there should be some consequences or a fine. And I do think that many adults and teens are educated in school, outside of school, as to the dangers of using cell phones when driving, but clearly it does not seem to deter anybody else from doing that, since we still have such a high fatality and injury rate when associated with cell phone use while driving. So I think that banning cell phone use or reducing to hands-free would certainly help deter people, I guess, to not use their cell phones. The other way to resolve this problem would also be to just pull over to make your phone call or send your text message or navigate to where you need to go. So, in conclusion, I believe it's very important to become educated on the dangers of using cellular devices while operating a motor vehicle. Statistics, as we went over, show that using the mobile device is hazardous as driving drunk. Whether talking, texting, or becoming distracted by a cellular device in any way can result in serious injury or death to the driver, passengers, anyone surrounding. And although cell phones have become increasingly important in our lives, it's really not worth somebody's life or an injury. And I believe restricting cell use or completely banning the use of cell phones while driving is imperative to keep everyone on the road safe, even if the solution may be a little extreme to some.
Good.